Hey there, welcome to another shop improvement update. It's Zach from New Brunswick. First on the list is a big one, considering we've got a little more floor space. If you look back, where is it? Oh yeah, that spot right there on my shoulder was where the support column used to be for the mezzanine. So it's better in a few different ways where it allows a little more space here because we also have the chain hoist on the beam. And while there's still a piece welded up on the beam there, up there, it still allows more clearance for spinning things around under the hook, and also pieces clamped on the radial arm drill table can extend a little bit further out. Parts from the lathe headstock still have clearance. And if you've ever run a lathe much, you'll know it's important to have clearance down the bed of the lathe, but also at the headstock. If you're ever doing something small diameter, I know years ago in a machine shop I worked at, we used to turn down a lot of Acme threaded rod, and it was about an inch and a half. And the thing was, you didn't want a whole lot sticking out past the lathe chuck because you wanted it stable in the machine. So we used to put a support stand out the back, but you'd also have to be careful about the RPM because that stuff would start whipping around. The one guy I worked with was a really experienced lathe operator. I learned so much from. He bounced the machine off of the blocks with this piece whipping around on a lathe. So you can get yourself in a lot of trouble in a hurry, which I guess also makes a good point for bolting your lathe down if you're doing stuff like that. Anyhow, just to be mindful. Other thing is people who move lathes on skates. I've heard stories about lathes tipping over. Never seen it firsthand. Imagine it's happened to someone somewhere. Which brings us to the next improvement, which is little tool holder addition right here. So the tool removal or the parting tool insert remover, and then these are all Torx head, wow, Torx wrenches for all the different inserts we typically use on the lathe, and then a combination of Allen keys, both metric and imperial, all mishmashed together. So some of them are for changing inserts, and then some of them are got this boring bar holder we made up, and you can see it uses, sometimes we put a countersunk screw for more clearance, sometimes for ease of use. We got a socket head cap screw, which are different size hex keys. So that's where that whole variety of hex keys comes in. I mean, in some ways it'd be nice to have a set of metric, a set of imperial, but then that's a bunch of sorting out to do as well, and buying more sets of Allen keys and drilling a whole bunch more holes or finding a spot. So that's what we've got for now. We'll see how that works. I know watching Paul Akers videos, there's that expression, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing poorly. So we'll see how that is instead of overthinking it, just doing something quick and dirty, which is how this whole thing came into being. Because usually I'd want to get super, super fussy, and I just thought, just get this thing done. And this has proven to be such a great time saver in terms of being able to move this straight out into the chuck, straight back instead of laying stuff on the headstock. So this right here, this has been a huge win. Highly recommend if you're running a lathe. Make yourself up some little stand like that. It's been, yeah, super helpful. Next shop improvement is one that's been a long time coming. Years ago, cut a bunch of stuff off the lathe, or the Hydemech S20P bandsaw, and notice here we've got the makings of a drawer. It's just 16 gauge on the sides, a 3/4 inch all the structural steel piece down right here for the track. Got some ball bearings. I don't know if they're like 6203 or something. I had we had 6 or 7 of them around, and it's got about a 3/4 inch ID. They're maybe close to 2 inches on the, yeah, they're about 2 inches on the OD, and made some ramps out of some kind of composite plastic type material. There's going to be pictures of that on Instagram somewhere around the date this video is posted. So you can check out what we did for tracks, and then put some pictures of the bandsaw as well when it gets finished up. That'll all go on Instagram, so you can check that out. And oh yeah, so check it out. So it's not done yet. There's no bottom in the drawer, so it's not the most stable. But check this out. Boom. And so no one can even tell there's top secret blade storage in there. And another work in progress. Working on making something here for a stop for stuff that comes off the bandsaw blade, that it doesn't get turned around and jammed into the blade when pieces get cut off. Actually, while working on this project, there was a piece that came out of the bandsaw blade and got wedged in between here and the blade there somehow. Actually chipped a blade. Actually, it was a blade that had a bad spot in it from something else that happened a while back. And the bad spot is where that part got caught up. So you got to be really careful with these things in terms of, you can go through a lot of blades in a hurry if you're doing silly things, or even if you just don't have setups that are perfectly ideal. Anyhow, so you gotta watch these things. I tell you, it's the end of a long day. So on that note, please like, please subscribe, please comment below. Maybe say a little something about some kind of shop improvement you're stuck on, and if there's something we've done similar, or if there's something we're thinking about, hey, maybe we'll make a new little video. Thanks so much for watching, all the support, and until next time, keep on improving.